morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
I want to say good morning to Joan Philgence, who is member of the Glow Up Committee. Did I get it right, Joan?
Philgence.
Philgence.
Yes.
I told you I would have some fun with that surname. Also here is Keena G, who's a personal style coach.
Yes.
And Jennifer Highland, who is founder of her Revealed Women's Community.
Good morning, Barbados.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. And wonderful to have
It's a pleasure.
the three of you here sitting with us. I'll start with you, Jennifer. Tell us a little bit about her Revealed Women's Community and why you found it necessary or why you felt the need to start a community like this.
Absolutely. Thank you for that question. Her Reveal really is centered around women's empowerment. I know there are many women's empowerment communities out there, but I was looking for that one thing that women can garrison around, coalesce around, the issues that women deal with, and the solutions that can be presented to help women navigate, every stage of their life. So that's really, in a nutshell, why I started Her Revealed. And we launched back in May, and this is our second event that we've got coming up.
Wonderful. What are some of the general areas that you focus in on through Her Revealed?
We're looking at financing. We're also looking at, issues, while we're here, menopausal issues that women go through, how to navigate life, your wealth building, and those type of things that women need to understand in terms of building themselves and empowering themselves. And
another part of women empowering themselves is kind of getting together. And here now we have Ms. Philgence talking to us about the Glow Up Committee and where the two kind of meet.
Okay, so right now we've had an overwhelming response. We've had oversubscription, so we're actually looking for Glow Up 2.0. And women have to talk about this because this affects all women, all stages of life. So sometimes people have menopause earlier than others. I was talking to my sister-in-law last night and she said she went to the hairdresser and the hairdresser asked her, "Did you just have a hot flash?" And she said, "Yes." "How do you know?" She said, "Because I felt the heat coming from your head." So, this is very important. Women are going to be educated, empowered, elevated. So we're looking for a grand time on Saturday, which is coming up this Saturday with regard to the Glow Up series.
All right, good stuff. So, we're teaming up for this Her Revealed Glow Up Wellness Seminar. And we know a big part of feeling good about yourself is looking good. So Ms. Gardier comes in at this point to talk to us about the importance of being able to step out, not only feeling, but looking the part.
Yeah. Okay, so for me, let me just say that I was extremely excited when Jennifer had called. It was a no-brainer, I just jumped on board. And that's because a lot of what I do is, I talk about style, but I talk more about feeling good from within. Because as we know, if you don't feel good from within, then you cannot show it on the outside. So there's a lot of tips that I give, right, that can help women, especially those who are experiencing the M word, as we would say. A lot of it too has to do, it's mental. So again, if you are not feeling good, if you're not feeling yourself, then for me, it is important that you start first from within. Then I can then talk about the transformational tips, the styling tips. How do you show up? The things that you can do in terms of the type of clothing that you wear. So down to the types of material, the types of fabric, because you just spoke of hot flash. And hot flashes, as we know, they can kind of bring some sweat on. But a lot of it too is not only giving you tips of how to show up, but it's also a lot of what type of clothing can you wear as well.
Yeah,
so the outer is important.
Definitely areas that we might look past.
Yes.
But in this part of the world, and with the G word, global warming,
yes.
we definitely have to be able to climate change.
Yes.
We definitely have to be able to kind of navigate this space to be as comfortable as we can be. What are some of the other areas that you're going to be delving into outside of women's health and style?
I want to just piggyback quickly on the reason behind the Glow Up series. Glow Up is gathering ladies on wellness, understanding perimenopause. And World Menopause Day is on October 18th. And the reason behind why I started is personally the experiences that I've been having. I spoke to a young lady and I said, do you want to come to the event? She was a person friend. She said, oh goodness, no, Jennifer, I'm not menopausal, but you can find me a man. I was like, but you see, at 35, that's when your estrogen levels begin to drop. And you may not necessarily know that you're perimenopause or you're at the beginning of experiencing perimenopause. And, you know, it's good to have this information so that you are aware of what you're likely to go through. Now, as a young lady, when we enter reproduction, it's pain. When we end reproduction, we go through a myriad of pain. And so it's in between there where we need to understand what's happening to our bodies. And so what ladies can expect, as Joan said, is oversubscribed. But we want people to understand and realize that menopause is not the old woman's symptoms or, you know, it is, as long as you have a womb, as long as you have ovaries, you are going to experience menopausal symptoms. And unlike the other maladies like cancer and PCOS, every woman, your aunties, your mummies, your daughters, your nieces are going to experience it. So I think women need to educate themselves as what is likely to happen to them. I'm going to be a nana soon. By the end of the month, I'm going to be a grandmother.
Congratulations.
and Joan, she's, you know, she's an experienced granny. And so when people look, you know, and we are young, fresh, you know, and so I'm trying to, from my own personal experience, you know, take the baton and help women to recognize that it's nothing to be ashamed of. You don't have to hide. And so while you can go through depression and anxiety, you may not think that, because you asked me what other things we're focusing on, there's mental health. Menopause brings on depression. Sometimes you feel like, you know, I can't take it anymore. And you're dwelling with people who don't understand what you're going through. Oh, she's moody today. Or the doctor said, oh, a whining woman is making an appointment. And so we really need to educate ourselves. So we're looking at mental health. We're looking at the connection between menopause and depression, the science behind menopause, what's happening to your body. And then, you know, you will feel, okay, I can take on life. I can go and, you know, like Keena, I can dress, you know, and feel. I went to an event and I felt more, I looked better than I felt. But it was important for me to get that information. And a lot of women are going to work and they're dwelling with people that don't understand what they're going through. And I think that, and we are trying to get, you know, businesses to understand and corporate Barbados to add this to their wellness programs. And we have a team of women behind the scenes really trying to get the national awareness, you know, around menopause and perimenopause and what to expect.
Oh, that's very, very important. And Joan, I know that for us in this part of the world, we don't usually talk about what's happening on a personal level. So I know you talked about, you know, being an experienced grandma, as Nana, and a lot of people mention that grandparents seem to be getting younger. I think that's not the case. They just are looking younger.
Exactly.
Because for me, when I thought of a woman 50 or 60, when I was younger, it didn't look like.
I agree.
It didn't look like you ladies. Absolutely not. So that conversation is important,
needed,
and not only intergenerational, but intergenerational conversation as well. I certainly hope the Glow Up series will work toward bringing that to the fore.
Yes, because that is what we want to do. This generation now is actually talking about it. Before, my aunt, my mother never talked about it. And then there's not only perimenopause, there's actual, you're stuck in the middle with menopause, then you have postmenopause. And you know, you would have a situation where older women would tie up their heads, stay in a house, shut up the house, and then everybody will say, oh, she's crazy, she's mad. But this is the time to talk about it, because we want to inspire women to talk about these things, so that our younger generation, because the Bible says that the older women are supposed to inspire and teach the younger women. So this is what we're here for. And as I said, we want to educate, empower, and inspire women, and encourage them to talk even more about it. And as you know, women are more emotional trained in that area, but when it comes to men now, men don't want to talk, because you know, men go through their stuff as well. So one of the things we want to do is also have a series for men, or a session for men, so that they know too that they go through it as well. So we really want to empower women.
A little andropause session for the guys. I'm sure you're going to work with or maybe oversubscribe. Maybe that'll be oversubscribed as well.
Definitely.
And this is also Mental Health Awareness Month, which is important. For you, Keena, you know, we make light sometimes of looking good and the difference it can make to how we feel.
Yeah.
But, you know, based on your experience, what does that do to help in all of the areas that the ladies mentioned, from the workforce to
Yeah.
being able to engage with family, you know, just step outside of your home and create a custom of wellness
Yeah, yeah.
and feeling good about yourself?
Okay, so for me, a lot of the time, so really what we're saying here is that with the M word, a lot of us can sometimes hide behind what I call a mask, right? And that not knowing, it actually causes a weight. So you realize then that this is where depression can actually start from. You realize that even in terms of, you know, how you see yourself. So when you look into the mirror, as I usually say to my clients, it's a lot about the internal conversations that you're having with yourself. So if we can understand that style has a lot more to do with, or rather your appearance, it really starts from within. So having those conversations which says to you, you know, I am gorgeous still. I am beautiful. I am going through this, but then what can I do, right? So it's really to kind of lay the foundation first in terms of having that internal conversation. And then once we do that, when you find clothing that not only speaks, you know, who you are, or it sends a positive message, it does something to you. I mean, let's admit, if you're feeling down, more often than not, as women, we always say, well, let me just grab something bright, or let me grab something that, you know, maybe my favorite dress, or my favorite, maybe even a hairstyle. These are the things that, you're right, I think that we don't necessarily pay attention to. And I think in some cases, we've somehow created this thing where we believe it's more materialized. And it's not necessarily so. I think it's how far you go with it. But I think once you have the tools that says, okay, fine, this is how you want to show up. This is the message I want to say. Knowing that you have the right clothing as well to send that, then the outer can now match the inner.
Yes.
And that's
Absolutely.
really what it is.
And for us, Jennifer, I think that not only where we are, so not only, you know, when we think about geography, literally, but also who we are in terms of ethnicity also plays into the way that we are able to live through pre the actual thing and post-menopause. I didn't realize it was 3 stages, people. I need to do a little more research on here. Learning a lot. I didn't know there was a post too. To be able to take the guesswork out of it, I think is important to get, you know, the medical fraternity on board. Because there's some people who think it's a bit of a myth.
Yes.
It's true.
Yes.
It's a taboo.
You know,
They don't understand.
so how do we move to a place where we're able to get, you know, those voices on board who are sharing more about it in a meaningful way, so that we strip away that mask of menopause that Keena talked about?
Well, it begins here, but there have been women who, for example, Renee Critchlow, who is a perimenopausal coach. She's been going into the workforce, educating HR persons as well. And certainly we have a UK menopause specialist. She's a British menopause specialist. And we have a mental psychologist on board as well. So they're going to be bringing all of the information together to educate women. So we do have the specialists that are going to be, you know, speaking at the seminar.
They came here to tell us we can't come, people.
2.0.
So you're getting ready for that one. Quickly, Joan, what was the quick response like? You know, you say it's oversubscribed, but, you know, what are you hearing as you go into the conference?
In like 2 days, we were filled up. In like 2 days, we were filled. And people do want to come. And we actually have a waiting list right now.
Wow.
For the 2.0. So we have to tell persons, I'm so sorry, we can't, you know, add you, anyone at this point in time. But we're looking forward to making it bigger, better, and having more women involved, and having them speak out, and having them educated, as I said, and empowered. That is my buzzword right now, empowered.
All right, good stuff. Glow Up Wellness Seminar. You had me there, and then you added, and cocktails.
And cocktails, yes.
That's important too.
Yes.
So thank you, ladies, for getting up and getting dressed and getting here.
Yes.
Thank you.
Very important. Certainly looking the part.
It was a pleasure.
I can step off, you know. These ladies have already, they're there already. You know, the glow up is on. So, you know, look out for 2.0. You said it's an online group. How can we join?
We have a WhatsApp community right now, and the subscriber list, we send the information directly. So it's a community, kind of like a closed community, because it's a niche And so you can contact us certainly by calling 829-7474. And they can visit us on our IG page, Her Revealed, and we'll share the information about what we're doing and the series and campaigns that we have coming up for 2025.
For sure. I think the important word to leave people with is support. And that's certainly what you'll get being a part of the Glow Up Wellness Seminar and cocktails. So make sure that you are a part of that waiting list, or you get on that waiting list to be able to move forward. Great to see you again, Keena.
Thank you.
Same
You too.
thing,
Great to be
Jennifer.
here.
And
Yes.
good to see you. Joan, I don't know, you look familiar. Maybe we met before, but good
Yes.
to meet you, Miss Philgence.
Thank you.
Morning, morning, morning.